Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's going on? This is Major Key Monday. As you all know, we trying to bring up the new year with some picking up where we left off and all of that great stuff, of course, we have, a gentleman who you should know about if you know about old fights as far as light heavyweights and stuff like that. Light heavyweight champion of the world with the IBF. And he's going to be in the building in just a moment. He's actually already trying to log in. I'm saying, having some technical issues on his end, but we'll get him in. Nevertheless, shout out to everybody in the chat so far here. So shout out to Jay Blues, my guy. Lisa Bales, what's going on, sis? Jed Kyle, what's going on, my bro from down under? That guy, what's going on? Dimitar, loyal fan here, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to my man Troy Grizzy up in the building. Ride of the Storm, salute to you, you know what I mean? So he's I'm pretty sure working in the back, and if for any reason he can't actually get in through the link, Troy, just call him and we'll get him on the line, you know what I mean? But we definitely want to talk about that. What I'm going to do today is basically do this interview. We have him locked in for about 45 to an hour sliding counter. Shout out to you, brother. You know what I mean? So we're going to do that for like 45 to an hour. And then after that, I got to get busy on some other stuff to make some money. But then I'll be back here later on just to do a quick Major Key Monday, finalization of the day and the fights that we have upcoming, all the gossip that's going on, the potential fights that we might have and all of that. So we'll keep it moving. Troy Grizzy, you on the line with me or you still in the background?
I'm still here. I just spoke to him. He said he got it, but he's not here yet, right?
Nah, I don't see him in the background. That's all good.
Okay, push come to shove, we'll do it by phone like we do with Tommy Brooks.
Yeah. In the meantime, sit at the table.
All right, so
okay, good. He's coming in. Hold on 1 second. There we go. What's going on, sir? How you doing? Yes, sir. How you doing? Welcome to the building. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Charles?
What's going on?
Can you hear us?
There you go.
Says, hey, Charles, can you hear us?
You
can't hear? We can see. Hold on. You can't. Okay. He's not turning, so I can't really explain anything to him.
What's going on? PR Run, Black and Brown. What's going on?
Charles, okay.
Yes, sir.
Charles.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
there
sir.
you go. Can you hear us? You gotta. Can you turn up your volume, right?
Okay, I got mine all the way up. I can't hardly hear you.
You can okay. Let me make sure I got everything turned. I got everything turned off on my end. Yep. You said we sound kind of low.
Yeah, I'm down low.
What about me?
Yeah,
do I sound low?
Did you hear Major Key?
That I sound low?
I don't think he can hear you, Major Key. He can hear me, but he can't hear you.
Right, well, go ahead, chop it up with him then.
No, I can't hear you.
You can't hear? I tell you what,
nope.
You can't hear? Why don't you jump off and jump back in real quick, Charles, and see if that clears it up.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
All right.
Okay. He's going to come right back. He just needs to, hopefully that'll clear up the problem.
If anything, if it doesn't work, you know what I'm saying, then just call him up, man.
Yeah. I'll do it by phone. That's fine with me. That's fine.
Get it popping, man, regardless.
Yeah, man. But everything is, this is just the nature of the business, man. Nature of the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I might just start doing that. I might just start doing a phone line when for this year. But the thing is, when you're doing interviews, you don't want to do it just over the phone. You know what I'm saying? Because you
No,
can
no,
hear
no.
them. You want to see their facial expressions. You want to get to know the person and things of that nature. That's why I haven't done that yet. You know what I mean? Like I try to keep that with the StreamYard. You know what I mean?
Right. Because just imagine if we could have seen Bird crying, man, all that emotion. That would have been great.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But we shall see, and we shall see what the year brings, man. But yeah. But everything.
Yeah, nobody's in the background, man. So if you want to call him, that's on you, man.
Oh no. He's gonna jump back on. He's just he's like Marvin, man. He takes his time and then he works at his own pace. So yeah.
All right, so then talk about what you're looking forward to for this year, man, so we can keep the show moving.
You know what? I tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Haney and Cambosis if that ever gets made. Fury and White if that ever gets made. Something getting cleared up with Tiafimo. There he is. Charles, you got your mic on mute. Charles, can you hear us? You still can't hear us. Charles. There you go. Can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you now.
It's on mute.
All right, perfect. No, yeah, it's off mute now. Perfect. How you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm great. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. We appreciate you being here. You know what I mean? We're looking forward to this interview.
Yes.
So let's start. Let's start moving forward. Just let everybody know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And give them a little brief synopsis as to who you are. I know my sister was actually stationed in Columbus, Mississippi, her second term. So I know you were born there, and that's pretty much a military town. And you were moved over to Mansfield, Ohio, I believe. And
yes.
And that's basically where you're at right now, and where you were pretty much raised. So tell the people what got you into boxing, who you are, and all that stuff, just so people could get a quick idea of who we're talking to right now.
All right. Yes, sir. My name is Prince Charles William. I was a former lightweight champ of the world, and I started my little boxing career like when I was 14-year-old in Mansfield. I'm original from Columbus, Mississippi, but we moved to Mansfield, Ohio in 1969. And I was one of the, I got 6 sisters and 2 brothers. It was like 9 of us. And so I had an older sister, a year older than me. And really that's how I got into boxing, because me and her used to fight all the time, but I couldn't beat her. She used to whoop me. So I said, well, I got to find a way out. So I started going to the gym. Because, my dad, they wouldn't do that. They said, if you let her whoop you, you need to get whooped. So that's how I ended up going to the boxing gym and get in the gym, and I really liked it. And my career started slow, but I on my way up, I beat some of the good fighters like Anthony Weatherspoon. I come along and lost to Marvin Johnson. That's when my whole career turned around, when I lost to the 3-time world champ. His promoter liked the way I put up a great fight, so he started promoting me. And from 87 to 93, I didn't lose a fight for 12 years. In 1987, I beat Bobby Chaz in October the 20th out of Las Vegas. I knocked him out in the 9th round after getting dropped twice.
Well, yeah, we're gonna dive deep into the fights. But before we get that far, right? So it's interesting you said you're one of 9 children, because I have 9 children myself. Right.
Oh, okay.
So it was probably tough in that household and all of that. And I'm not really sure, because with the information we could find on you on the internet, it says that your mom was a single mom, and all of that. So it must have been tough while she's out working, trying to make the money and all that, with all of you guys together, whatever, trying to watch over each other and all of that. So tell me a little bit about that, just for history's sake.
Oh yeah, it was very tough for my mother. Like I said, like you said, she was a single parent and she was working, trying to survive. To send us to school, and they want us to go to school with no regular clothes and stuff. She wanted us to be dressed nice, kid, but kid laugh at but you know, my mother was a she like dipped Gary Snuff, and we got a nickname. They start calling us Snuff Dippers. So most of the kids in our area, that's a Snuff Dipper. They ain't got nothing, They try to make fun of us and laugh at us, but that didn't bother me. My thing was to go to school, get my education, and I had a dream one day everything gonna be all right. I said, Mom, I'm gonna be able to buy you a house. I'm gonna be able to do this here for you. And so when I started boxing at the age of 14, and I turned pro when I was 16, I told my mom, I said, Mom, don't worry. I said, I'm gonna become champ of the world. I had no idea at the time. I thought it wasn't gonna be that long frame. I thought maybe 3-4 years I'm looking at becoming the champ of the world. But it took me 10 long years before I got that break. And
Absolutely.
we didn't have nothing. Sometimes we had to go to Goodwill to paint us some, shoes and stuff to wear. I come from a poor family,
Gotcha. Yeah.
so but once I made it become champ, all the people that talking about us, all they want to be my friend now.
And
And
the reason
like
why
I
I
used
brought
to,
that up.
yeah, I told us, listen, I'm the same guy that y'all call Snuff Dipper. Something I get now as a nickname. They called me the Prince. I said, now y'all want to hang with me now. I said, I ain't got time for you.
That's fact. Hey, and before I pass it to Troy, the reason I brought that up to you was because a lot of reports on your career talk about how hard nosed you were,
Mm,
and I was talking to a boxer just a few weeks ago. I can't remember who it was, but they said that you need to learn how to fight before you become a boxer, and so
right.
that's the thing that's the vibe I get from you. Is like you were a fighter before you were a boxer, and so you had to
Yes.
fight, you had to struggle, and so that translated in the ring. That's that hard nose angle that we're coming about with. But yeah, let me pass it off to Troy, and then I'll follow up after that.
All right.
Brother Charles, man, good to finally see you, man. We've spoken off and on the phone for a little bit, right?
Yes, we have. How
Yeah.
you been, brother?
I've been good, man. I tell you what, man, just sitting back and listening to you go back and forth about the family, and we're gonna move on into your career from here. This is
Okay.
what Yeah, this is what drives my love to do this, man, because I really want to reach out to you like a while back, but I was just moving too fast and I had to slow myself down. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm glad we finally got together. But let's jump into your career, man. And before we get to chairs, walk us through some of the folks you did beat, because I know that you had a main sparring partner who went on to the Hall of Fame. And I know you actually were blessed with meeting a certain lady that we interviewed, and she was your manager, right? Who was
Right.
that?
Yeah. Jerry Stapleton.
Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry. Her name was Jerry Stapleton.
Oh, I thought it was Shelley Williams.
No,
Not
no, no.
No, okay. Okay, well hey, that's my first mistake right there. That's my
Yeah.
first mistake.
Yeah, no. She was the second woman ever to own a world champ.
Which was you.
Me, right.
Right.
And the
Okay.
other and the other lady was what was her name? She was the manager Jeff Chandler. She was
Shelley
the
Williams.
first
Yeah.
Shirley Williams. And then you had Jackie that had Tony
Yeah.
Light, Jane Lights out Tony.
Yeah, but tell us about some of those fights that got you to the Bobby Chess fight. Tell us about some of those fights that got you that championship shot.
Well, I fought a kid from Florida was named Killer Joe Dolphin. He was they had ranked him #1 contender for me to fight. And they said how tough he was because I guess he was in prison down in Florida, and a riot broke out, and he cooled everything off, so they let him out. So he started, getting to boxing pretty good. I think when I fought him, he was like maybe been like 20-1 or 2, something like that. So they brought him to Philadelphia for me to fight him. And it didn't last for 2 rounds. I knocked him out in 2 rounds. And then I fought Eric Winbush. Was a hard fight for me. Coming up, I went 10 rounds with him. And Anthony Weatherspoon, he was 8-0, all 8 by knockouts. And I fought him in 83. He dropped me. I get up and beat him 8 rounds. And Kipper Moore was a great fighter too. He out of Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
I fought him to a draw. So I was like a opponent for these fighters. They weren't expecting for me to win.
Yep.
But I never laid down. And I set my mind and my goal that I want to be champ. And I went and bought me one T-shirt. I put on that shirt on my shirt, future champ. And I had that shirt every day. I wore that shirt to remind myself what was my goal.
Okay. Yeah, now in the chess fight, I saw that when I was much younger. I saw that fight, and it was I think the first knockdown he caught you with what, like a right hand, and he stunned you, and then after that he hit you with a. Now the second knockdown, I didn't think he was gonna get up after that. I was surprised you got up because yeah. But go ahead and talk about that. Go ahead and talk about that, Charles.
Well, in that fight there, after my, and Bobby Chaz, I knew that he was a hard puncher, but I went in, I was in great shape. I know I ready to go 15 rounds. So I come out and I know I had to reach on him because I had the height. So I was using my jab, and my trainer kept telling me all the way, remember, keep that right knee bent. And I stood straight up in front of him. He come over my jab, hit me with a right hand. Now I could tell you about the first knockdown, but the second knockdown, I don't even remember that. I don't even remember getting knocked down after the first knockdown. I don't remember nothing else about that fight until 11 o'clock that night. I watch it over in the lobby.
Basically, you fought on instinct. You were in such good shape and so focused that you were really fighting blind the whole fight. But you were so raw with it. It didn't matter. It did not matter.
It didn't matter. I was out of it. I didn't. Everybody kept saying, "Man, you champ." I said, "Man, I ain't no champ." I said, "What? He would interview me." He said they did interview you. I didn't remember. I didn't remember nothing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. But that says a lot to your character, man, and your toughness right there, that you could come back from something like that and just, most guys, when they get hit like that, Ali used to talk about, I think George Foreman said when he fought Ronnie Lyle the first time, right?
Uh-huh.
Ronnie Lyle hit him so hard that he went numb. He went numb after the first knockdown, and that was a mistake because he couldn't feel anything for the rest of the fight.
Right.
He hit him. Yeah, he couldn't feel nothing. So he was fighting like you. The only difference is that, the fight ended how it ended, but he said he couldn't feel anything until after the fight. That's when the pain kicked in.
Yeah, I mean that your adrenaline be so high, you don't feel nothing. You just all you have in your mind, you want to win. You want to win that fight.
All right, well, let's move on from Bobby Ches, man, and take a walk through your career.
Okay.
what came next after Bobby Chess? You came up rough. It was 9 of you. What was the first thing that you remember doing after you won the championship? Did you take it to your mom, or what did you do?
Yeah, I took it to my mom. And I showed her the belt, and I said, "Mom, you ain't got to worry no more." I said, "Your son gonna take care of you," and that's what I did for my mom. I took care of my mom.
Good man, good man. And that's why you're so prosperous today, brother.
Yes,
That's why
sir.
you're so prosperous today. So God bless you, man. But let's talk about I don't want to name drop, but go ahead and tell us who your sparring partner was. Your main sparring partner was back in the day.
Back in the day, my main sparring partner was Bernard Hawkins, executioner. And we sparred from, I believe we got together in '86. And we sparred all the way up to '87. And I had another good sparring partner. Nate Miller was the cruiserweight champ. I used to spar with him. I used to spar with Tyrone Frazier, Burt Cooper, and Rodney Frazier. I used to spar with most heavyweight. Bernard was the only small guy I had, because at light heavy I was so strong that couldn't nobody really work with me. I had to work with bigger guys to get a good workout.
I was gonna ask you that. What the heck were you doing sparring with heavyweights, especially Burt Cooper?
Right, light heavyweight couldn't stay in there with me. I just was a beast, and and I trained hard, and I wanted to unify that title so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Moore, Virgil Hill, they ran. They would never give me opportunity to prove to the world that I was the great light heavyweight champ of the world. I was the
Now,
best.
now, now, Virgil Hill came how many years after you?
Oh no, he was champ there with me. We
He
all the
was?
champ, and yeah,
Okay.
it
I
was
didn't
it
know
was
that.
yeah, it was me, Virgil Hill, Michael Moore, and Dennis Andre.
Ooh, Michael Moore. I know at 175. Or I watched those videos, and his power was frightening. Michael
Mm-hmm.
Moore. They go Major Key jumping back in, but Michael Moore at 175 pounds, his power was wow. And you wanted to fight him?
No, yeah, I wanted to fight. He didn't want to fight me. That was a payday. We met. I fought Graver Winburst in Detroit. I fought him that night. I knocked him out. Me and Michael Moore, we signed the contract that night to fight. And a week later, him and his manager met me on the highway. He said, "Look, we go just give you this check. We don't want to fight."
What?
Yes.
All right. Well, look, on that note, I'm gonna pass you back to the brother here, Major Key. I know he got some questions that he want to ask you, but that's some amazing stuff right there. I have never heard anyone giving back money.
Yeah.
They gave you back the money. You must have been a bad mama. Shut your mouth. I'm just talking about Prince Charles Williams.
Tell you, before you get over here, them guys didn't want to see me. Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, when they moved to the light heavy down in the line, then none of them guys want to see me in '87, '88. You had to wait till I get over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? That's a good intro to pass you back to Major Keon. He could ask you about that. Go ahead, Major.
Okay.
Yeah. Apologies. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. So, tell me about. I don't know if the question was asked while I was gone, but I know when you had I believe it was 8 fights in 5 years for the title defenses. I mean, hey, you didn't fight no slouches, man. You fought Swindle, Kinchin, and then Bulwer. You know what I mean?
Right.
And tell me about that span right there. That little 5 year span right there. And I believe that was the IBF light heavyweight. title that you had, and just tell us about that span right there. How were you feeling? What kind of offers you got? Because the ultimate question that I'm going to ask you right after all of this is basically the nature of boxing right now versus when you were coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you fought whoever they put in front of you,
right? Right. Yeah, we didn't have.
And right now it's like all these politics, and it's like, oh, you cross the street, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's crazy. But so tell me first about those fighters that you fought.
Yeah, when I fought Frank Swindell and J.D. Kitchen, them guys they was on their way up. He just had to get off a good fight with Michael Moore, Frank Swindell. So they wanted to get me beat. They figured I was the weakest one in the light heavyweight division, because I guess I don't know why they feel that way, but he told Frankie that he can beat me easy. So I beat him. I knocked him out in the 8th round. And James the Heat Kitchen, that was my favorite fight. I didn't want to fight him, and I ended up knocking him out in the 2nd round. It was just hard for me. My promoter that I had, such a customer, kept saying, "Don't nobody here want to fight." So I had to end up going overseas to get fight. If you look at most of my title defenses was overseas. Half of them was overseas.
Even your last fight was in France, right? Wasn't your
Yes.
last fight in France? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. That's what we got to do sometimes. Like right? Like, because that's what I'm looking at right now, and it seems like some of these fighters have to go overseas just to make the money, because over here they don't want to make the money, and we're supposed to be America, man. We're supposed to be the home of boxing. Even though it started overseas or whatever, like we're supposed to be the home of boxing, and it's sad to see right nowadays all the politics messing with the sport.
Yeah, if you look at it, I think it was maybe 2008, 9. We didn't even have a heavyweight champ. All of them was from overseas. That's the first day ever have in boxing history. We didn't even have a heavyweight champ. And back then, I couldn't even name who the champ was from over in Paris. Them 3 brothers was over there.
The Klitschko's, yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Boxing here in America now is more like a how can I put the word? It's not the guys is not fighting hard. All they just going in just to get paid. Like when we coming up, when I fought back in them days, I fought a 4-rounder. I made $150. These guys now fighting 4 rounds, they making almost $20,000. And they ain't fighting the kind of fight I was fighting.
They still complaining.
Yeah, I was fighting killers. I didn't have no manager that can pick fighter for me. If I had a manager to be able to pick for me, I probably still could afford like Bernard till I was almost 50-something. But I was 17. They called me to fight Buster Douglas dead, Billy Douglas. He was one of the top light heavyweight. They wanted me to fight him. I said, man, I'm not gonna fight this man. I ain't got but 8 fights. So I did have sense enough to turn that one down. And then I left Ohio and I went to Michigan with Floyd Mayweather. Now I was out there with his dad, Floyd, and Tony T&T Tucker. I was his number 1 sparring partner. So I was making money off of him, sparring with him.
I didn't know that you sparred with Tony Tucker?
Yes, sir. I was his number 1 partner. I always spar a guy, most of the guys bigger than me.
That's why that power was coming through when you were on that 5-year span.
Right. Yep. Now,
most
key to what my career helped because I was a guy. I trained hard. I lived it right. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't do none of that there. All I did, go to the gym, work out, come home. I believe that's why my career was so blessed. God blessed me so well because the way I was living. I was a guy that had faith in God, live with God, go to church, and I give all the glory to Him.
You were a fighter's fighter. You just lived
Yeah.
that life. You were a fighter's fighter. So yeah. Now it was another brutal fight that you had in your career, which was a two, which was a twofer. That's what it was with Murky Sosa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that one, man. That was brutal.
That was a brutal fight. Me and Marcus Sosa, we went at the war. But I really thought in the first one, when I had closed his eyes, I thought when he stopped the fight that I was gonna be the winner. But they consistently said, well, both of us were so beat up that we couldn't continue the fighting. And but I was on my way. I was on my way down then, because something that you don't do, I always promise. I promised God when I get 31, 32, I said no more than 32 years old, I was gonna come out of the ring. I didn't want to fight no more. So, but I was doing so good. I went beyond my point. So I started 3 times. I broke my left hand 3 times. Then things started happening to me in camp. So I knew, I said, well, I better get on out. Like I had told God, if He keep me healthy, that I'll retire. And so I told my trainer, I said, I don't want to fight no more. So they kept on, but come on, man, you still can do it. You can still get it in you. And so I kept on doing it. And I told them, I said, I wanted to make me a nice payday. So me myself get on the phone and I called Jackie. That's who was Tony, Lights Out Tony manager. So I told Jackie, I said, listen, I want to fight Tony. She was like, well, Prince, Tony ain't gonna want to fight you because y'all good friends. I said, listen, all I want is a payday. I just want to make me a payday. I never made no good payday in the light heavyweight division. So she got with Tony, and Tony said, okay, I'm not gonna fight him at light heavy, but if he cut down to 68, I give him a fight. So I went down to 68 and I fought Tony. I put up a good fight with him. I knew if I didn't get him in 4-5 rounds, I wouldn't go. I didn't have the strength to knock him out. So we went 12 rounds and almost the whole fight. I think he knocked me out with like 11 seconds left in the fight. So
yeah,
I knew.
That was scary too, Charles, because your leg snapped from under you. What was it, caught up under you when you
Yes.
fell or something? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That looked scary when you were watching it on TV.
Right. Yeah. So I knew then. I told them I won't fight no more. I had that one little fight in Paris, and I told my trainer, I said, "Is it? No, don't even call me no more. My gloves is finished." I said, "I'm going back now. Stay in church, live my life with my wife and my grandbabies, and be happy."
Now,
So after your next question, Troy, since we only have 45 to an hour with him, if he doesn't mind, I'll drop the link in the chat, and any one of our usual suspects, as far as like the loyal fans here, can jump on and ask him a question if he doesn't mind.
No.
This is a boxing legend channel. I don't know if Troy's told you the plenty of people that we've had over here already, and you're just adding to it because we've had nothing but people of your caliber up here. Like just real gritty, old school fighters, and we love to hear your stories.
Appreciate it.
okay, now, Charles, I got to ask you. I know they've been any. Is there any talk about the Hall of Fame for you? And I got to ask you this question, right?
Okay.
You must have had the Hall of Fame, you know, Jerry Curl back in the day, brother. How you get that Jerry Curl? So tight, bro.
It's funny. It's funny, because like I said, I got 6 sisters, and I always had good hair. So when it rained, they'll grab me. They'll grab me by my head, and they'll double team me and put grease all in my hair and let the rain get in it. And it be all wet and stuff. So then my sister and us, they thought about it. They said, let us try this Jerry curl on you, see how you like it. I said, okay. Because I know if I didn't, they're going to beat me up. So I said, okay. I let it put it on me, and I ended up liking it. So I stuck with it for a while.
It definitely worked for you, man. You had like the Captain Kirk of Jerry Curls. You ever watch Star Trek? Captain Kirk get into a fight, his hair never get messed up. You were the same way in the ring. You were the same way, bro.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but go ahead, Major.
Yeah. Right now, I'm posting the link real quick. Anybody that's in the chat wants to ask a question here, we're on limited time, so you have to do it now because otherwise you're gonna miss your spot. Boxing Sports, the Boxing Source, Kyle. If you want to ask him a question, click the link. We're dropping it again. And again, we're on limited time, so you got to click the link soon. If not, we're gonna move forward with that. But yeah, no, with the, I knew that look, you got drained when you went down, and shout out to James Stoney because he's going through something right now. But shout out to James Stoney, but you were definitely moving down, from your natural weight to fight him, and so you still lasted 12 rounds, which a lot of people didn't even expect that to happen. You know what I mean? So shout out to you for going that amount of time with James Toney. Everybody's looking at James Toney like, hey, killer, which rightfully so. But hey, you lasted all the way.
Sir.
With being drained too, So shout out to you for that.
Appreciate it, my bro.
Yeah, man. Got to give you credit where credit's due. This is one of the reasons. Like I said, this is the home of boxing legends over here. We've had so many people, man, and you guys always have so many interesting stories. Because here's the thing: like I grew up, I was born in 1980, right? So in 1980, my grandmother is the one that introduced me to boxing back in those days. Because I'm Puerto Rican Dominican, and she loved Hector Camacho, right?
Oh.
So she loved herself some Hector Camacho, right? So she put me on to that. Like she used to listen to the radio whenever they were talking about him, put on the news whenever they were talking about him. The newspaper clippings, clip them out and all that stuff. She loved Hector Camacho.
Right. Hey, Camacho was a good fighter.
Yeah, he was, right? And then after that, Mike Tyson, and she put me on to all these other guys, Pernell Whitaker and Chavez, Senior and all that stuff. And, I just started watching boxing on my own. My aunt kind of like picked up on that, but she didn't pick up on it like I did. Like I got a boxing channel because I love boxing so much.
Right.
That's because of my grandmother. May she rest in peace. But she loved boxing. It didn't matter where you came from. If you were a good boxer, she was gonna pay for that. And the whole neighborhood was in our house. Yeah.
Yep. You know what? It's funny that you said that because my number one fan was my grandmother.
There you go.
I don't care who I would in the ring again. She can sit there and watch the fight.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like the old school thing. Like, it's like I'm gonna be honest with you. My grandmother, as small and brutal as she just had like an eye for the streets and an eye for the struggle and stuff like that. She always worked her way through the situation. She was the matriarch of the family. No matter what, it was my grandmother in charge. She might be sitting down quiet knitting, but at the end of the day, she was also behind whatever everybody else was doing.
Right.
Yeah. So shout out to my grandmother and shout out to your grandmother because that's a beautiful thing if she was behind you 100% like that.
Oh, you're behind me. Yeah. That's one thing I can say. I had a big family and all of it was behind me. I had, they got behind me. My older brother, he was a boxer. but he tried to play the streak in box two, and that wouldn't work. You know, he wanted to drink and do all that, but he was a good fighter too, but he didn't want to let the alcohol go and the girls.
Gotcha.
You know.
So what do you think about that? Let's move the subjects because I dropped the link. Nobody wants to. If somebody jumps on, then we'll let them ask a question. But in the meantime, talking about stuff like that, like you've got your and I'm not gonna mention specific names, you know what I mean? But there's certain boxers that are so caught up in the hype right now, and that's always happened though, right? Like certain people get caught up in the hype and stuff like that. But there's certain boxers that, man, such great talent that we knew that it could be the next great one for the United States, but instead they want to, get into the hip hop culture, just like trying to build off of this clout and not really stick to the discipline that got them there in the first place. What would you say to those guys? What would you say to those guys right now? Coming from your background, what should they do? What should they be mindful of to stay out of that?
You have to, first of all, you have to be dedicated to yourself. That what you wanted to do, you got to be able to say, listen, boxing is my job, and I'm going to do it 100%. And if you know drinking go knock your wind down, you might not be able to think right. Boxing, what I looked at it, boxing was a 24-hour job for me. I get up in the morning, I think about boxing. I go to the gym in the afternoon. When I go to bed, I'm still thinking about boxing. What can I do to make me better than I am? I used to laugh at me because I used to go to bed like 8 o'clock. I said, listen, I got to get my rest for my body. I said, y'all don't understand what I went through. I found out the hard way because I think that was in 1970. I turned pro in 77. I turned pro in 79. Yeah, I fought Jeff Lampkin. I fought Lampkin for the Ohio State title. And I was running the street, messing with women. I went down there to Youngstown and fight him. He hit me with a body shot. I just went down in the first round. I said, man, you can have this fight. From that day, I turned my whole life around. I said, if I'm going to be a fighter, I got to live like a fighter. I got to do the job.
And it was that fight that got you seen by the person who turned out to be your manager, right, Charles?
Yes.
Oh, okay. She saw you in that fight and she saw something in you, and then she made a couple of calls, and then they reached out to you, and then but tell them that story. Now, how long did it take you to get out of the old contract and sign with the new and all of that?
Well, it didn't take long to get the old contract because I had told my old trainer I'd never fight for him again. So he went ahead and sold it to this young lady. And she asked me if I mind if she trained me. Managed me. I said, I don't care. At that time, I said, I'm just trying to make it. She said, I don't know that much about boxing. She said, but I'm willing to learn with you. And I told her, I said, okay, no problem. I said, go ahead and buy the contract off of him and we'll get together. So me and her got together. I think it took about a year and a half before I got my first fight with her. But she gave me
bought it out, right? She bought out the contract, didn't she?
Every week. She paid me $250 every week. She bought out the contract, right? And she moved into Michigan. She paid my rent and everything. She never did want none of that money back once I started making money. She said, I just want to be a helper. She said, I feel that I was led to help you to reach your goal. And to today, me and her still talk. I go by and see her. You know, I never forget the helping hand that got me over the hurdle. Cause my old trainer, all he was about making money. He'll sell you out and everything. All he want to do is just get a payday. You know, Mansfield, where I come from, Mansfield only was new for the Ohio Reformatory. So every time I go somewhere to fight, they say, "Oh, you out of the prison?" No, I'm not out of no prison, brother. I never been to prison. But Mansfield had turned some great fighters out. We had another fighter named Art McKnight. He fought Sugar Ray Leonard. Then we had Tony the Tiger. He fought Roy Jones. So we had some good fighters to come out of Mansfield, but didn't none just accomplish become champion.
I tell you what, brother, that's a whole lot of prayers and tears that were watching over you. You know that? That's a whole lot of prayers that was watching over you.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear me? Yeah. Somebody prayed hard and cried at night for you, man. Yes, they did. Because it's very rare that you can run up on someone like that and then you get to know them they and you learn to trust them and they do so much for you in a short amount of time. That's
Right.
as you know, because you know the sport. I'm just a guy that's sitting on my couch talking to you, but you were actually in the sport and you heard all the stories and you probably seen a lot of the pain as well, right? You've
Right.
seen a lot of these guys,
I seen a
yeah,
lot of
rise to
things.
the
And
highest
not,
high.
yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but before I forget, I also like once I become champ with this lady, I could have been a millionaire. Don King came to me. He wanted to promote me. He wanted to buy my manager out, and I told him the word. I said, "No, sir, I'm not going nowhere." I said, "Where were you when I was nobody?" I said, "This young lady brought me all the way from a nobody to somebody. I'm gonna jump up and leave her for you." I said, "No, I won't do that." Because you know that's one reason I think what happened to Mike Tyson when he left Custom Model and went with Don King. God don't like when you do things wrong. Custom Model was in his career all his life, raised him up. Then he go jump up and do what he did? No. Then when he started going down here, you get the women get the messing with you and they take you down. I believe that's why I am blessed I am today. You don't find too many fighters that can speak like I speak, got the right mind, and been through the things that I've been through out of my 19 years of boxing. Some fighter you talk to now, you can't understand them, bro. I seen even my buddy, I like him good, Marvin Johnson. You know, he just one of them guys now, he's slipping, you can't understand him that well. You know, Buster Douglas kind of going that way. You know, I with them guys last year. Matter of fact, I'm going into the Boxing Hall of Fame in Indiana next year on the May 21st. I
All
go
right,
in
congratulations.
with, pardon me?
No, I was saying, I was saying that's a blessing that you're going into the Hall of Fame, man. Indiana,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Indiana, you deserve it. You put a lot of hard work in. Now, do
Yeah.
you train or do you speak to the youth? Because we got about 10 more minutes left. Do you train or do you tell these stories to the youth? You go out and speak?
Yes. I go out and I go to the school. I go to the school. I do it at church. You know, I tell the youth. You know, I try to get my best out there. You know. Right now, I'm in the process. I'm trying to be a youth center where I can be over 24/7. You know, and getting young people something to do to get them off the street. You know, because if somebody don't take time with you, you know, Ain't no telling what you'll end up and where you'll go. If you got somebody out there that's showing people that I care for you, I want the best for you. We can save a lot of these kids from going to prison. A lot of them getting killed. That's my goal now. I just want to reach out now and help the kids.
Okay. And also, man, you accomplished a lot. You told us about where you came from with the 9 brothers and all that. You came from a big family, but you weren't just a world champion. You also have a street named after you.
Oh yes, sir. The name is Street
Yeah.
Rapper. Yes,
Tell
and
us
that
about
was a
that new.
very, you know, I was saying, I was telling them I really appreciate that I got a chance to see this before I leave this earth. You know what I mean? Because like I look at Marvin Hagler. He named the street after him after his death. He didn't know nothing about it, but I appreciate him and I got a chance to see it while I'm still alive.
Mm, that's important. That's important, man.
Did your mom get to see the street as well?
Yes, no, my
Good.
mom did. No, my mom did.
No, no, you said no or yes?
No, she didn't get a chance to see it.
Oh man, okay. Well, brother, we coming down to the last couple of minutes. I know Major might want to touch on a few things with you. I just want to thank you, man. It's definitely been a pleasure having you around. You make this is why I love doing what I do. The
Right.
stories are great. I mean, and there's someone out there that you're helping right now. We don't see them, we don't hear them, but there's someone out there that you're touching. So bless up, man, and thank you for your time.
All right, my brother. Y'all have a great evening.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Basically, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. So my last questions before we ask you to plug whatever social media you have out there for people to follow you is just the last question is just the state of boxing overall, meaning like with the franchise championship, with everything that's going on in different weight divisions, like what do you think is the biggest problem and how to resolve it, and then also what is the best thing that's going for boxing right now? So it's a 2-part question, but after that, we'll wrap it up for you.
All right. Well, to me, I think right now, boxing right now is all about money, and these fighters don't train. They don't want to train hard. They know, now you got 3-4 fights. You can fight for a world championship. You ain't have to work your way up like we did back in the 70s and the 80s. We didn't get a fight till we become #1 contender in the world. These guys can turn pro and have a fight. He can fight for a world championship on their first pro fight. And now boxing is more like a show to me. These guys not really getting there fighting hard. These guys go in there just to go in there and make a show for the crowd and get paid. When you go in, if you look at the fighters in the 80s and the 70s, they never like the fighters here these days.
So because it's a show, is that why the Paul brothers are getting that money right now? The Jake Pauls?
Yeah, that's why they get that money right now.
Because it's a show and they're doing it better than the boxers. All right, I got you on that. I feel you on that. It's a sad thing, but yeah, I feel you on that. Well, look, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You were generous enough, and I really appreciate you, man. Tell people if they want to follow you, whatever you're doing as far as your career right now, you know what I'm saying, after boxing. Tell people where to follow you if you have any social media, and then we'll wrap it up for you.
All right, yeah. Right now, I'm involved in doing shows with, we do the celebrity boxing show. We run shows down in Atlantic City and out in Miami. Me and Damon Fairman, with them running the celebrity boxing show. I don't know if y'all ever seen it or not.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Give us some more information on that.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's more like we bring in like celebrity boxing. You know, we got a show coming up the 28th of March, and got the girl Coco. She gonna be on it. Ice-T, and Jamie Foxx. We got guys like we got celebrity like them go be on our show coming up in March.
Ice-T gonna be boxing?
For me?
Ice-T's gonna be boxing on the show, or what's he gonna be doing on the show?
Yeah, they're gonna be boxing. Yeah, they're gonna be boxing.
Okay, well, you got to come. When is the date on that, man? Major. No, go ahead, Major.
Yeah, that's gonna be in Miami.
It's March the 28th in Atlantic City, New Jersey. March the 28th in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
You said March 28th?
Yep, March 28th.
Okay. I tell you what,
Atlantic City, New Jersey, at the Tropicana Hotel.
All right, I'm gonna call you when you send me some information so we could post it and so forth for you, man. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Wow, man, I didn't know about all that because this is news to me. You heard about it, Major?
That's what I'm saying because Glenn Johnson. Every single time there's a fight that Johnson promotes me, I get an email.
Your signal's breaking up, Major. Your signal was breaking up. We only caught a little bit of that. Yeah, Major's trying to fix his audio real quick, but definitely, man, we'll stay in touch. Yeah, we'll stay in touch, Charles, and I'll get the information and I'll pass it on. I'll pass it on to Major, and I'll pass it on, on our social media and everything. All right.
All right, appreciate it, my brother. Thank y'all.
All right. Oh, Major fell off again. I know he had he might have some closing thoughts for you, but once again, man,
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
go ahead.
You hear me? No, I wanted to say Glenn Johnson. I was saying that Glenn Johnson, every single time he does an event out in Miami, he invites me to that. You know what I mean? So, I love to hear about this stuff that's going on in the background because that's why I asked, because I don't know what you're doing in the background, but people need to know because when you hear about a legend and then they're doing stuff in the background, they're thinking. Like when I ask you questions, I can see your mind is working very fast, like you in the ring. You know what I mean? Like I can see that. so we love to hear about this stuff.
Always think first.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
But I tell you what, I'll give you a call back and give you more information on the fight for March 28th.
That's what's up, brother. Well, hey, man, I appreciate the time again. Shout out to everybody that showed up to the chat today. Another edition of Major Key Monday with these great interviews, home of the boxing legends. We had, of course, Prince Charles Williams. Man, if you ain't know before, now you know. And now later on, we'll open up the panel and just do a kind of an open panel, talk about the recent fights and the future fights. We'll do that around midnight East Coast time. But for right now, we just got to salute the OG, Prince Charles Williams. Thank you for chopping it up with us. We really appreciate it, man.
My pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
Have a wonderful night.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And don't forget to subscribe to Troy the Graham Experience as well. Peace.
Major.
Yes, sir.